I tested over 24 habit tracking apps, but only 6 made the final cut. Now I've separated these 6 habit trackers into their own unique categories based on their individual strengths and weaknesses. The 6 apps that made the final cut are Habitbull, Habitify, Habitica, HabitShare, NewHabitApp, and Chains.cc. So in this video, you're going to learn about the pros and cons of each of these habit trackers, as well as which category they made it into. Now those categories are Rookie of the Year, Most Elegant, Most Immersive, All Reliable, and Honorable Mention, and the highly coveted Best All-Around Habit Tracker. Okay, so let's jump right into it and get into our first habit tracker, which falls into the category of All Reliable or easiest to use. This is the Samuel L. Jackson of habit trackers. We have Chains.cc. Let's dive right in. Now, the thing I want to note about Chains.cc is this is the only habit tracker that does not have an Android companion application. All the applications in this list have Android and iPhone versions. This one does not have Android, so you have to use the Chains.cc desktop version in your browser if you're going to use it on Android, which is a bit of a problem. We're gonna see it is a bit buggy here. But let's take a look at exactly what's going on with Chains.cc. Now, this is it. This is the entire screen. This is the entire app right here. You're gonna see that the apps are listed from the top of the screen from left to right here, not the apps, the habits. And then you mark whether or not your habit was successful along this chain. So it's very simple, very easy to use. You only have yes, no habits. So if you mark your day as successful there, you hit it, and there you see 1 week. Now, there are a few customization options. You can decide which days you want to track the habit. So as you see here, there are some days that have gaps. That's because we've set the habit as we don't want to track it on that day. Some of them are tracked every day, as in meditate, because that's the settings that we set. Otherwise, there's not a lot of customization. I mean, you can change the color of the habit up top. See, and there you go. There's one of the bugs that you're gonna see in this Android web browser version, is that if you long click on things too much, it kind of drags them out of control, and it's kind of hard to control it. Now, we'll just leave that there. The good thing that you can do, the only advanced feature that this has, is the ability to add notes to specific days for your habits. And you just do that by taking one of these icons. It doesn't matter which one you use, it's just for visual reference, and you drag it to a specific day. And there you can type in the note, was very good. The only problem is that once you add these notes, or as they call them, stickers, you can't view them on the Android version. So I'll show you also what it looks like on the desktop, so you can see exactly what the customization options look like. But in the iPhone version, it's much easier. There aren't as many bugs, and also on the desktop version. Now, we'll also see what it looks like to edit the apps or the habits. See, you would just use typically this gear here to edit it, but you can't do that again on this Android version. So this is the most simple, bare bones habit tracker. I've been using this for, well, started using it about 10 years ago when I first got into habit trackers. And it's still around, it's always gonna be around. That's why it's a Samuel L. Jackson, and that's our first habit tracker. Now, the second habit tracker we're looking at falls into the category of Rookie of the Year, or Best Up and Coming Habit Tracker. This is the Tom Holland of habit trackers. I give you NewHabitApp. Let's jump in and see what we got here. Now, when you first open up NewHabitApp, you're gonna notice something a bit different that you don't see in most other habit trackers. And that's that each habit has its own, what I like to call, mini category here, or mini dashboard. So what I'm talking about are these large rectangle things here. And this basically gives you all the information you need for the habit right on your screen. Now, again, you can see on this mini dashboard, the weekly view of how successful you've been with these habits. This is also where you enter in how well you've done with them. So there's 4 different habits that you can track here. With the free version, you can track up to 5. Very important to note. There is a premium version. We'll go over that in just a minute. But these are the 4 types of habits that you can track. The first one is a simple yes, no. So this is a simple yes, no, just like Chains.cc. You hit marked, done, and it goes down as done. We get a little smiley face on the bottom right there. Now this one is very important. This is an integer habit. If you're an advanced habit tracker, you need these integer habits because you're gonna do a lot of them. most likely. So it marks it as successful, we hit go back. Now this one, this quit sodas, is very interesting because this timer is always going up. This is what NewHabitApp calls a negative habit. So this timer just keeps going up and automatically marks your habit as successful as long as you don't do it. So if I were to, for example, drink a soda, I would mark that as unsuccessful, and I would mark that down here in the bottom right, and our timer would start over. As you can see down here, it's just gonna start over on the next day. And the fourth type of habit that you can track is a timed habit. Not a lot of apps have this. Some do have integer habits, but not a lot have timed apps. So what you do, this puts in a timer within the app that counts up to it. Now the target here is only set to 3 seconds. So you're gonna hear a little notification. Not sure if you could hear that, but it did a little notification, a little vibration when it's done. And then once we hit that target of 3 seconds, it will mark it as successful. Now, the reason why NewHabitApp is so innovative and why I really like it is because it almost doubles as a coaching section or a coaching app. And you're gonna see that here when we look at these famous people and right here when we add a habit. Now, without going on about this for too long, let's check it out. So what it does is these creators have compiled a list of famous people and what their habits are/were. Now let's take a look at an example. Good old buddy Mozart. So these are the habits that apparently Mozart followed or that he had. Now I'm not sure, to be honest, how much I would actually use this section of the app because they compiled this from publicly available data. It's not like Mozart himself, right, said what habits he had. If they did that with contemporary famous people, then I would be much more interested. But since these are just guesstimations, it's not really as useful as you might think, but still a cool feature nonetheless. I've never seen this. It's a great way to get motivated. That's why I really like it. Now they also have groups of habits and a ton of pre-made habits based on these different categories that they've grouped them into. Now, here's where the coaching bit comes in. Let's just say we pick a random habit, the top 50, meditation. Now look at this. It gives you the benefits, the first step, progress, helpful tips, tips for beginners, famous people who use it, and this extra resource tab. Comments from users, but this resource tab we don't know. We'll get to that in just a minute. So this is why I absolutely love this app. If you are a new habit tracker and you need some help getting going, then this stuff is exactly what you're gonna need. Next week, increase meditation time to 2 minutes per day. Very innovative. So it doubles as more of a habit tracker and also a bit of a coaching platform just based on these recommendations that they give. So you're not gonna see this in a lot of habit trackers. Now, what I want to note here as we talk about the premium version is this resources tab. I don't know what this resource tab gives you because it doesn't say, it just says that it's a premium feature. So if we wanna go over to see what we get with premium features, you get no ads, unlimited active habits instead of just 5, dark mode, additional habit resources, premium habit options, custom periods, and import habits. Now this is pretty cheap, not the most expensive that you're gonna find. So, could be worth it. Now there are a few bugs, there are a few little things that go on here with this habit tracker. We'll get into those, but the thing I most importantly wanna show you is what it looks like to create a new habit. So let's say we just wanna create a random habit. We'll put in make videos. And here you can decide, here are the options that you have to customize it. What type of habit is it? Is it a simple yes, no? Is it a bad habit, those negative ones that I talked about? Counter are integer habits, and timer, we've already seen what those look like. So we'll just do simple yes, no. How often do you want to track it? You can choose it by days of the week or days of the month, specific days, or just how many days in general. Now this daytime, this is when you're apparently supposed to do the habit. This is a less useful feature, so we just move on. And then you can also set a target. So maybe we want our target to be, we want to do 15 successful days of this, and that's when the habit is marked as complete. Now, that's basically what I got for you about this one. Let's just take a look at the settings tab really quick. There's not a lot of settings you can edit. Dark mode, again, blocked by that paywall. Absolutely hate that. But, they gotta make money somehow. So This one, again, we took a bit of a deep dive here because this one is so unique and there's a lot going on with this habit tracker. That's why it is called the Rookie of the Year or Up and Comer, because with a few edits, with a few customization options, I really think this could be the best habit tracker out there, especially with these coaching options. Okay, our next habit tracker falls into the category of honorable mention or most potential. This is the Margot Robbie of habit trackers. Now it's kind of a hard example, a hard analogy there because Margot Robbie I think is great no matter what. So as you'll see with this habit tracker though, there are a few downsides. I don't think Margot Robbie has very many downsides anyways, but let's check it out. This is Habitify. We'll dive right in. Now, what we see here on Habitify is you have a very basic home screen journal. This is what I like about it. All your habits are gonna be right there. Very simple, very easy to do. Now, the only thing let me just tell you the big problem with Habitify is that it costs a lot. It's very expensive. Before I show you anything else, we're just gonna look at the price here. Lifetime, $39.99, like yearly subscription model. This thing is a beastly expensive option. And the bad thing about it is that the free version is kind of a completely different application because so many of the good features that you want are blocked by that paywall. So if you're not buying it, then I wouldn't even recommend using this habit tracker at all because there's just not enough features on it. Now let's go ahead and see. The first thing we're gonna know is that with the free version, you can only have up to 3 habits. Now, very good features that this application has is the ability to skip a day. You don't see that a lot. So if you skip a day, that just saves your streak in case you went on vacation or it's Christmas, right? And you don't really wanna do that habit. So it's very nice. The ability to add notes and timer, that's a timed habit. You can just do a time section for this habit, but the ability to add notes is very important. The only problem is these are all blocked by the pay wall. So you know what, let's actually just look at exactly what you get with this paywall here. Now, the most important thing we already went through, trying to get to the front, is you can make unlimited amounts of habits, skip your habits, which we saw, archive habits, yearly calendar view, dark mode, very important, export data, privacy lock, not as important, habit notes can be very important, unlimited reminders. Right now, you're limited to 2 reminders per habit, per your 3 habits with the free version. Let's look at some of the other features. This has a very nice statistics screen. You know, there's a lot of different ways to view the data, and advanced habit trackers especially will like this. If you're a new habit tracker that's only trying to work on your streak, this won't be as important to you. Now, an important thing that I also like about this is it gives a lot of ways to organize your habits. We're gonna see that over here in settings. And this is where you can manage your habits. You drag and drop so you can put them in your own custom order. But even more than just customizing the order, you can group your habits by different categories. So I've made this mindfulness category, physical activity, and on that home screen, we can group these habits based on that. Now, of course, there aren't a lot of habits that I can, I only have 3 habits, so it's not like I can make a lot of groups. But the idea is here, and I really like that ability to just change the view. It can really give you a psychological edge. Now, also hide completed, that's very nice. We can show them as well. We can hide them, do what we want. So that's Habitify. It's very good. It has a lot of good features. Skip, it's very clean. It has a lot of data, but the thing is, it's just blocked by that paywall. So if you were to get the premium version, I really hope, it's gotta be worth it for you. For me, it's not worth it because other apps accomplish the same things that this application does without being so expensive. Basically, you're only getting the addition of the skip function. There aren't even integer habits. You can't track integer habits in here. That's the big thing. If there were, maybe I'd consider buying it, but we'll see what happens. This is an app to keep your eye on. Okay, now that next habit tracker falls into the category of most elegant. This is the Scarlett Johansson of habit trackers. Most elegant. Let's jump into it. It is HabitShare. What I love about HabitShare is, look at this, right when we go into the home screen, this is it. This is all you need. Very clean. We have our weekly view of habits. We can see them all at the same time. you can see a bunch of them on the same screen. And in order to mark these habits as successful or not, just like many others, you hit the day and you tap it here. Now this also does have the ability to skip. So that's what this gray line here is that skip function. Now you can also add notes or comments to specific days. Yes, that was great. Funny that unlike Habitify, this is not blocked by a paywall. I bring dishonor to my family. So we should mark that one as red. Now this one is free. And honestly, I haven't seen an option for a paid version, and there's no ads, so I don't know how they're making money, but I like it. They're doing really great work. Now, the features that it is lacking is there's no timed habits, there's no integer habits, but really what this thing is trying to focus on is the social aspect. So you challenge your friends. You have a group of people that you're trying to build new habits with. You can add friends here, and you can even message them. You send the messages directly in the application, which is really nice. About to meditate, you? Nice. Good luck. Filming right now. And so that's nice. Let's take a look at the settings screen. There's not a whole lot of settings to customize because there simply aren't a lot of features. This is kind of like, it's reminiscent of a Chains.cc, but in a just a very elegant, simple manner. There's no dark mode, which I don't like, but I almost don't care because for whatever reason, the colors, the design, it just really hits with me and I like it a lot. Now, another problem is that there is no calendar view, so you can't go back and forth unless you want to click on each habit individually. But I would most likely, I really like to see a calendar view for all the habits at one time, which is unfortunate that it's not there, but that's okay. That's why this wins the category of most elegant. It's simple and easy to use. Okay, we're almost to the end. The fifth habit tracker that we're looking at falls into the category of most immersive or most unique. This is the Joaquin Phoenix of habit trackers. Let's jump into it. We got Habitica. Now you may have heard of Habitica before. It's an extremely popular habit tracker. Look at this, we just jumped in and see, this is what I'm talking about. We unlocked a prize. Let me talk about exactly what this habit tracker is. This is a full-fledged RPG video game based on your real life habits. Now, you see I've made a lot of test habits here, but let's look at the important things. I'll give you a brief rundown. By RPG, I mean that you have a character here and you have a life bar, you have experience meter, and you have gold. And what can you do with all this stuff? You can upgrade your character. You can buy loot, you can buy inventory, you can buy equipment, there's different items you can buy. And most importantly, there are different bosses that you can fight. It's literally a video game. And how you upgrade your character throughout the game is by marking your habits as successful. So you see here, we mark some habits as successful. We gain, that's experience first, and gold is on the right side. Now, if you mark a habit as unsuccessful, then it docks you a little bit of life. We'll see up here. Docks you a little bit of life. So this is seriously like a very immersive, it motivates you because it puts your life as a video game. And now this is probably not the best for someone who is a new habit tracker and just wants the basic simple things, right? If you want to do that, then you probably want to look at things like Chains.cc or HabitShare. But this one will really help to get you motivated. Now, also important to note is that we have a to-do list down here. This is a full-fledged to-do list where if you have a certain task that you need to do for the day, boom, you just mark it off. And you can even create different to-do lists within these to-do lists, right? So you can hit 1, 2, 3, boom. And that to-do list is done. And of course we get some experience and gold. Now, perhaps the most important part about this application though, is that you can join the tavern. And the tavern is where you can meet up with other people, you can join guilds, you can go on quests and raids, and you fight boss battles. And in order to fight these boss battles, everyone has to be doing well in their habits. So if anyone in your group misses a habit or they fail on a particular day, then everyone loses life and the boss injures you, or you don't injure the boss. So this is the most immersive habit tracker I've ever seen, and it's a really good way to motivate you if you are kind of a nerd. Okay, we made it. This is the 6th habit tracker. This habit tracker has made it into the coveted best all-around category. This is the Christian Bale of habit trackers. Love Christian Bale. This is Habitbull. Let's jump in and we'll see why this is the best all around. Now, this is Habitbull. One screen, all you need, everything right here. What you have here is your list of habits, and it's in a nice weekly calendar view. And we can scroll left and right and see all our habits at the same time, the history and the future potential of each of these habits. Now, some of these habits are simple yes/no habits, like this one. You tap yes, or double tap to mark it no, or we can leave it unchecked for now. But the thing I like about Habitbull is it also allows you to check or track integer habits. So this is work, the goal is to work for at least 3 hours. So you can use this for a variety of this has a variety of uses. There are no timed habits in here, and there's no ability to skip days, which are the only downsides of Habitbull. But if you scroll down, you can see your streaks, your percent successful days, and some statistics here. Now, getting more deeply into the statistics, you can hit this monthly view up top, and you are going to see the statistics for each individual habit. My favorite statistic that you don't see anywhere else is the number of attempts here. So that shows you how many times you've tried to do the habit but have failed. It's great for keeping progress and track of yourself. My most famous habit took me 16 times. I tried 16 times before I failed. Now, also important to note is that you can leave notes on your habits. You just long press on any habit, leave a comment, hey there, and it will show up as with that little chat icon right there. So you can see exactly what you had to say. Now we keep scrolling down and you're going to see a general discussion tab. This is sort of like a forum area where people post different topics. You can respond, you can reply to different topics, upvote them, you can star them so you'll get replies when someone responds to it. So there is a bit of a community aspect to this habit tracker. Now let's go ahead and look at the ways to organize the habits. You come over here to that screen, and this is where you can drag and drop and reorder the habits. Not a bad way to go about it. And you can also archive habits. Now what Habitbull calls it is making the habits inactive, but these are habits I've done in the past and that I may want to do again. So if I want to say start doing my retainer 6 weeks again, or 6 days a week, we just hit that, activate it, and all of a sudden that is back on our list. Let's go ahead and take a look at the settings to see exactly what we got here. Some good settings, not a lot to customize, but honestly, there's not a lot of settings that you would want to change with this habit, with this app anyways. Now, as far as pricing goes, this is free up to 5 habits. So not too bad. You can get away with that with using the free version. I do have the paid version. It's $7.99 for a one-time purchase, $9.99 if you want to export the data and sync it up to other devices. But honestly, that syncing bit the functionality has not been working. You're gonna see that right here. So I would just pay the $70.99 and get that version. It's gonna say, it says just a second doing stuff, but it's gonna say that the sync didn't work somewhere. So this is the best all-around habit tracker. This is the one that I actually use today. These are all my real life habits. These are the ones I'm tracking. So there you have it. Those are our 6 habit trackers. Now, I also want to add a bonus one. This is the custom habit tracking spreadsheet. This is a spreadsheet that I made that allows you to create your own customized habit tracker in spreadsheet form, if that's what you like. And it allows you to do it with 0 spreadsheet experience. Check it out. You can find it on theproductiveview.com/spreadsheets. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment down below. Catch you next video.